Okay, well, I want to welcome everybody back to our YouTube live broadcast for Blogtalk Radio. And I got about 5 minutes or so I'm just booting up everything, getting everything ready to go here, and making sure everything's working. So far, so good. Let's get dialed up here in our studio. And if anybody ever wants to become a podcaster or blog talk caster, this is pretty cool. I recommend it. Other than the fact we get, problems every once in a while, it seems to be pretty decent.
Now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2. Speak to customer service, press 3.
Your show is scheduled to start in 4 minutes, 54 seconds.
4 minutes, 54 seconds. Okay. I'm going to check my microphone here real quick. Let me see here. Testing. Hello, check. Good. Everything's working. Good deal. And I will open up the chat room. Hopefully we don't have any drops tonight. That would be nice. But it happens from time to time. Sometimes it's the internet connection
4
itself.
minutes until showtime.
Sometimes it's the internet connection, and sometimes it's the studio itself. And we'll do that. Alrighty. Seems like we had a bit of a problem with our volume on the YouTube also. I've had
3 minutes until showtime.
I've had people tell me that they couldn't hear the callers as they were calling in very good on the YouTube channel. Now, when I watched it and turned up my volume on my PC, I could hear it just fine, but I'm going to try to get this regulated to the point where, you won't have to crank everything up so loud in order to hear it. So if we can get a happy medium going here, that would be good. But I appreciate the comments and stuff from people letting me know what's going on, and so we can tweak this thing and make sure everything's the right way. And to let everybody know and remind you that that tonight we're just going to shoot the breeze a little bit about things that
2 until showtime.
may be coming up here in the future, things I like to try and do, get more interaction with the audience, so to speak. Of course, you can call us here at any time. The number was 347-989-1008. So, you can call us during the broadcast at any time. We're also live on YouTube. You can get on Facebook and go to the Closer Encounters page. You can chat with us there. The chat room here is open. So I'm going to send this now to let people know we are live. Good. And we already had a guest log in and log out, so that's okay.
1 minute until showtime.
1 minute. So, if you know of anybody who's got any stories or would like to talk about something, or they have questions about something, I mean, by all means, give us a holler one way or the other. And if I don't know the answer or whatever, then we'll get somebody that does. We can do that. I need to get my paperwork out here. And just believe it or not, I do paperwork.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2,
Here we go.
1.
Boop.
Blog Talk Radio.
Clara? Oh,
Yeah.
Maddie B. The figures I used to see were kind of shadowy at first.
He is pointless to resist, my son.
Yeah, this is Linnea.
Hi, my
Hi,
name is
who
Vivian
is it?
speaking. Can I, Clarence, from his experience, do you feel that they were what they were after?
I posted something the other day when I listened to you and the guy from Australia talking.
Hi, Claire.
It's Chris Henson from Indian School. The cell phone seems to have dropped through a wormhole. I can't find it.
I woke up with 3 small figures, the grays, standing next to my bed.
Hi, Cliff Irons. This is Colin from Australia. How are you?
Yeah, it's Mike and Julian. How you doing, Clarence?
Hi, Clarence. And what kind of experience have you had?
Clarence is an empath. Just having trouble with my smoking. It turned out to be a dumbass TV.
My name's Lee. Lee Stacy.
This summer, I've seen all kinds of bizarre things in the sky.
Really? You want to hear my story?
I have an extended spine that's called a fox tail, I guess you would call it. It doesn't stick out, but it goes way past my butt.
Your fellow administrator, Melissa Burnham.
This is Tim. Caller. Well, if you don't get what you get, it fill out in a wormhole by accident.
Yeah, Jack Myers, second from El Rio, Oklahoma. How you doing, brother?
And I've had 3 sightings, one in Massachusetts, I've had 2 in Hollywood, California. I've actually got to see an extraterrestrial.
And here am I stuck here on this planet and I can't get off it. That's how I felt.
So what is your mission here on Earth, Sword?
To raid the planet Earth of all its oxygen. And I shall impregnate all men and women.
It is pointless to resist, my son.
One looks at the sky, and we're drawn to the heavens. Hi, Clarence. This is Carol.
I've been watching Ancient Aliens since the beginning. I was hooked from the very first show.
I want to ask what's your take on power.
This is Mike. This is Lee's brother. Hey, how you doing? This is Steve. I'm an admin on the Ancient Aliens site. Just wanted to call and say hey.
It's just a shame that we have people out there who take things funny like this.
I'm going to tell you a secret, people. Hold on now. Hold on to your seats.
Or making crop circles. That makes a lot of sense. It's brilliant.
What I did was I had to call in as a guest on my own show. Can you believe that? Rob, is that you, sir?
You sure you bet it. Yep.
And hey, Clara, Sharon McQueen, how are you?
That's crazy. I went through a 4-foot stack and actually inquire.
Each of them was a classic, what he described as a classic graph alien.
I don't mean to sound sexual, but sharing the night together was a song we used to sing together.
Hey, John.
Hi.
Hi.
I finally made it.
All right. I agree with Clarence. I think this was one of the best shows.
Well, I had no idea that you were in Kansas with the Grays.
When it vanished and disappeared, it made like a sonic boom.
Thank you for your show.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Good night and keep your eyes to the sky.
Well, hello and welcome back, everybody, to Closer Encounters, the show where you, the listener, is also the guest. As you know, I'm your host, Clarence Mitchell, here on Blog Talk Radio. And tonight, we're just going to shoot the breeze for a couple hours and talk about anything and anything, everything and anything, yeah, or vice versa, whichever. The number here to call is 347-989-1008. And as always, the chat room is open, and you can always catch us on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. So please feel free to join us at any time. Looks like our first caller, Mr. Tim, is with us. Let me get him booted up here. Hello, Mr. Collard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Greetings and salutations for you.
Cool. Yeah, the volume, I had to kick the volume up a little bit. I've been getting, people were telling me that they're watching the YouTube live feed, and sometimes they can't understand people, through there. So they say they can hear me just fine, which because the microphone and the camera is actually behind me a little bit, and the speaker to the computer is, on the other side of the desk. So, so I have to kind of adjust things a little bit.
Let me see if I can adjust my volume a little bit here.
Yeah.
You said it comes in a little bit too loud sometimes?
Well, no, it was too soft, so I had to raise it up a little bit here on this end, and okay. Hopefully it'll work. I can hear you just fine. That's not a problem there. But going from the speakers, because I use both the speaker and the headset, so what I'm not hearing, was coming through the speaker part. So hopefully it's better tonight. But we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's new, my friend? Anything happening? Any updates or any kind of crazy stuff going on out there?
Nothing really crazy, but really serious. I developed some type of a infection on the inner eye, and it's an infection of the cornea. And almost, if it's not rectified, taken care of, I could end up losing that eye.
Oh.
So,
wow.
And it's, I haven't done anything to it. I don't have any, I don't have any complications, no health issues or anything to speak of, that would, cause that,
Huh.
They said some things that sometimes it just happens,
Wow.
Something, but you have to, if it happens, you have to deal with it and take care of it and use antibiotics and stuff, so I'm doing that and working on getting that taken care of and learning a little bit more about the eye, about our human bodies, and really about the technology that's involved. Man, it blows me away. The more you get into more and more medical fields,
yes.
the medical field of today, I've become amazed around something else is, they're able to do stuff, and advances in optometrists and what they're, and all stuff they use for dealing with the eye. It's just incredible.
Wow.
I mean, if they have, and all this they have is just, it blows me away.
Cool.
It really does. I mean, but.
Well, we've definitely come a long way with medical. No doubt about it.
Gosh, yeah.
I mean, think about this. Back in the 1800s, or in our Western days, so to speak, you had to go to a barber to get your teeth pulled, and I couldn't imagine people going through that. I mean, wow,
Right.
And all your doctors are on horseback, and yeah.
They didn't have any anesthesia.
Not really.
No Novocaine or anything that except for alcohol.
Yeah.
Basically, is all they had. They had, they did have some laudanum and stuff like that.
Laudanum,
yeah. High-powered, opium-based stuff.
True. Yeah.
They started got that from the Chinese, or
Right. Yeah. That's crazy. But it's funny when you think about it. Even my dad and them, my dad, he's 84, going on 85, and he was saying how their doctor and that still came by horse and buggy, to their house. He was one of 9, kids, and when his mom didn't go to the hospital or whatever, the doctor would come there, and he would still come with horse and buggy to the house. They were still using plow horses, until they actually bought 1 or 2 tractors, to work the fields with. So that's kind of crazy. So yeah, it's remarkable.
But what it's kind of it's borderline science fiction stuff. And when you think about it,
sure,
the advances that we've made over the last, say, 25 years, 25, 30 years, the advances that's been made in all forms of technology, but mainly the medical field. It lines, it's like we're getting the information some other outlet source.
Right.
I find it hard to believe that natural evolution or the
Uh-oh, I got dropped here. Don't leave me, Tim. There we go. Let me see if I can get this booty back up. This is the one problem that you will have on Blog Talk Radio for whatever reason. I heard it skipping.
Press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
In the last 5 to 7 years, of cell phones have advanced believably. I remember. I think it was okay, maybe a little bit longer. Okay, back to 2004, 2005. The big phone that came out at that time was the Motorola Razr.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And that was, and today that's considered a dinosaur.
Sure.
And I remember when that phone came out, man. If you were somebody that was keeping up with the Joneses, you had to have a Motorola Razr, or you were left behind.
Yeah. Well, I remember the days of truck driving. We used to run to the telephone all the time, or a phone booth, or wherever, to get your next trip, for your job, and I hated that. Why didn't you call me? Well, I couldn't find a payphone, or the phone was busted or something. It never failed.
Yeah. Or there was a line 20. There was a line 20 feet long behind the phone. You know,
exactly.
You know, I wasn't going to wait, you know, 4 or 5 hours there at that one phone. So I thought I'd make it down the road. You know, it wouldn't be that far, but
right.
it would be a little bit longer than what I thought. Yada yada. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, well, I'll tell you what. You know, I lived those days. Well, you know, you did too. You know, in those days. You know, and man,
it was crazy.
I'm glad that we have got the advancements that we've got now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
When you can drive down the road, pick your phone up, and call your either your shipper or your delivery place, you know, wherever you're going to, you know.
Yep. Get your directions, or tell them that you're going to be late, or whatever.
Directions.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely.
I mean, my gosh, that's priceless, man. I remember having to stop and get directions, and if you know, and 9 times out of 10, the directions you know, there was something with the directions that, you know, they hadn't been upgraded, you know, they've gone in and changed so they changed you know, they changed intersections or whatever, you know, or whatever.
Well, they put a no truck sign up, or
marks were there, you know, to go by, were gone, you know, and I had to deal with it too, and man, God, that, you know,
I don't miss them days at all. Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad those days are behind us.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, and it makes you wonder, how did people survive without that stuff? I mean, you know, and that we talked about this before, you know, and it's like, I really hate modern conveniences because it makes people lazier to a point, but yet I can't live without certain ones. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know. Now my cell phone I don't hardly ever use. I got it with me in case of an emergency, but it's very rarely ever on. You know, so that's not a big deal as far as that goes. But like my computer and stuff, I'd be so lost right now without my laptops and desktop, and you know, I wouldn't be able to do any kind of research or anything like I used to. You know.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. You know, and I remember a few years back, you know, probably maybe 6, 7 years ago, I said, you know, why do we got to have everybody has to have this technology? Why do you got to have all that stuff? You know,
right.
I mean, you know, you can, you know, we've got along fine for centuries, you know, you know, doing this and doing that.
People wrote letters. Yeah. Yeah, people wrote letters and actually sent birthday cards to you. You know. You know. Yeah, we used to do that. That's how we communicated.
Yeah. It actually did stuff through the mail. You know.
Right.
Use the mail. You know?
Yeah.
Boy. You know.
Checks in the mail. You can't say that anymore. Yeah.
But you know, those days were all fine, but man, I'm glad we don't have to do things like that anymore. You know.
Right.
You know, it seems like in every year or every 6 months you turn around, there's another advancement else is coming up, and something else is better or improved, or maybe some new angled gadget or some type of has come up, you know, and now we have this, you know, but the technology behind the cell phone, behind the smartphone, you know, again, we just take this for granted, you know, every day in our everyday lives.
Right.
That, you know, most of our kids and everybody think that that's the way it's been. You know, they think that we had that, you know, back when we were kids. You know, and they don't understand. They said, well, you know, oftentimes one of the grandkids or one of my kids will say, well, what did you do back in your day, Dad? Or Grandpa, what did you do back in your day? I said, well, you know, we took care of things. You know, we took care of business. It was just a long and slow and grueling process. You know, it was really we managed though. We got by. You know, because we knew how things had to be, signed and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing you did is you went to the first stop that had a pickup, you know, for FedEx or one of the delivery carriers, you know, and you put all your paperwork in the envelope and send it off to them. You know,
hope somebody didn't lose it.
You did that as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to do that.
Nope.
Now you take a picture on your laptop or on your phone. You take a picture, ding, ding, and you send it to your dispatcher, and they got it.
Yep,
I mean,
exactly.
instantly. I mean, right now.
Yep.
Right there.
Exactly.
It's a lot better.
Yeah. Even the fax was.
You know, things like that.
Yeah.
Those are all excellent advances. But again, thank goodness for that. But what would happen if we were to lose that?
Mm-hmm.
Or if something was to happen, say
all it would take is a power loss.
A solar flare.
Yeah.
Or you know some type of EMP hits our atmosphere. It goes through it. You know.
Sure.
Some type of whatever. And all electronic devices are wiped out.
Yeah.
Done. Right. Where would we be? You know.
Yeah.
We would take care of it, but how long would it be before we were back up online?
Oh, it would devastate everything. The stock market would crash. The banks all would have to go down. I mean, everything would come to a complete stop. Transportation would come to a stop. Your infrastructure would just, forget it. Absolutely. Yeah. It's remarkable. It's a scary thought when you really think about it.
That's very, very much is a scary thought, because when you see how much we rely on it, how much everything is relied on now, you know, for instance, like most of the stuff you take care of today, you do it through emails, you know.
Right. Emails or an app or whatever.
Like that,
sure.
You know, you don't even, a lot of places don't even have a phone number for you to contact them. You get a email address and you contact them through, and you say, well, I don't have anything to do to email with, and they look at you like, what?
Yeah, they're still the old school people. Yeah.
my brother-in-law and sister, now they got a beautiful house, they got everything going on, they got new cars, they got all this going on and everything, but they do not have not one bit. Well, here I think 2 weeks ago, they upgraded. They talked to me. You know, they've been with AT&T for, and they had they just go by those cheap throwaway Go phones.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And they were flip phones. You know, and all you could do with it basically is most are. They couldn't even take a picture.
Right.
No pictures, no nothing. All it was just a phone. They could text message and stuff like that, but they didn't know how to text message. Well, they talked to me, and I guess between myself and a couple of my nieces and nephews, they talked me into upgrading, and they finally went to Straight Talk and got their first smartphones 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's what I use is Straight Talk. Yeah.
They're freaking out. They're texting me all the time. You know.
Cool.
How come you didn't back our way? Well, I'm sorry, I was doing something else. Well, I'm getting into doing this texting stuff, man, and man, he said, now. I'm like, well, welcome to the 21st century, guys. It's about time y'all caught up.
But you know what? Here's the thing I noticed too with this texting thing. I mean, whatever happened to people actually calling them on the phone and socializing? You know what I'm saying? Now you text or you message, you know, and that's it. There is no socialization. So it's like, you know,
right.
It's, you know, I don't know. I still rather talk to people, you know, one-on-one instead of, you know, send me a text. I don't want to send a text, you know. I'll call you,
right.
You know.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I had a problem here last year or whatever it was with a particular person who misinterpreted, a text that I sent, because you can't read the feeling that somebody's putting into a text that they're using. You know what I'm saying? The emotion's not the same on either side.
Yeah.
And you can get in trouble with that, And I had a person pretty pissed off at me until I finally seen him face to face. I'm like, dude, read the text the way I sent it, but obviously you can't do that, Read it again,
I know.
And don't overread it, just, and that's what happened. Well, we got it straightened out, but yeah, so you got to be careful with that, But
yeah, it's crazy though. I mean, I rely heavily on texting.
Mm-hmm.
My last girlfriend and I, we hardly ever called each other.
Wow.
We always
text.
We always did text. We always texted each other. We never called.
Wow.
It was texting about this, texting about that. Keeping in contact. And this is like 4 years ago or so.
Right.
I thought, where did it change? When did it really? When did this change take place where we, where we would rather type messages than to talk,
right.
personally.
Right. Yeah.
It seems like the world is going this way.
Yeah.
And it's every year it seems like it's getting more and more that way.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently got into emails, and stuff like that, and now
mm-hmm. Everything's in emails. Yeah.
I have got now through no complete fault of my own, but I'll take responsibility of it. I have got 4 addresses, 3 email and 1 Gmail address.
Yeah. See, I'm like that, but because of the show.
From nothing to
yeah. Yep. It's called socializing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. See, I do that too.
Keeping all straight,
Yeah. Well, I can remember like when Yahoo was a big thing, and I had instant messenger on Yahoo, and then we had MySpace, and we had AOL was a big one, and I had email addresses for every single one of them,
That seems like dinosaur.
Doesn't it though? Yeah, absolutely.
Do you remember back in the? I think okay. I'll go back to like 2000, 2001, 2002. When I mean, all we had was AOL.
Windows 98.
That was the only.
Yeah.
Palette.
Yeah.
Data.
Yeah.
It was
dial-up.
It was digital or going towards digital, but it was kind of like analog.
Still dial-up. Yeah.
And you had to dial on to it, and then sit for 25, 30 minutes waiting to. We had to go through all the spam. We had all the spam and all the other crap to go through,
Oh, Lord.
And,
yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm glad those. Now I'm really glad those days are over. I'm glad we're back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, but even back then, that's when everybody was getting on the bandwagon of getting computers and all that stuff. And
sure.
And I said, well, I'm not going to. I see no need as long as we have other means of communication and other things of other ways of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do things the old way. Until then, I'm just going to do it my old-fashioned way, and it took me a long time to finally make that changeover.
Sure.
It's just like okay, back then for up until I guess I think 2004, 2005, 2004, I had a landline phone,
mm-hmm.
and I said, you know, everybody was in cell phones. You know, 2000. I remember 2000, 2001. Everybody was getting a cell phone. You know, and you know, if you didn't have a cell phone, you know, and I always look at everybody, all my coworkers and everybody. You go, man, you guys are just that's crazy. You know, I could because it was they were so hyper about it. You know,
right.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You know, why are you doing that? You know,
right.
I got Old Ma Bell. Old Ma Bell has served me just fine my whole life.
Right.
You know, that's, you know,
right.
If I'm not that important that I have to have a communication device in my pocket at all times. You know, if you wait for me to get home and be by my phone or catch me on my phone, and then they'll just you know. Tough luck with it, you know, until I got my first cell phone.
Sure.
Now, I got my first cell phone in 2004. And I'm going to tell you, I got it as I went driving over the road. Now, at that point, I was driving local.
Right.
I was working for a local company and worked right around town I did that for, I guess, 8 years, 7, 8 years.
Right.
So, I didn't need a cell phone, you know? So, but I started when I went back over the road and had a cell phone. I was hooked at that point on. I've been hooked on a cell phone.
Absolutely.
Since that point on, I have not been without a cell phone.
Yeah.
And I won't be without a cell phone. And you know, and you know, you know, I've talked about this before with GPS devices. You know, why in the world everybody got to have a GPS device? For crying out loud!
I don't have one.
Rand McNally.
Yeah.
You know, my Rand McNally book has done me just fine my whole life. You know, every highway, every place I go to is pretty much on it. You know, they'll get me within the area where I got to be.
Right.
You know, that's where I bought for GPS device. And I'm telling you, if I go to a place that I'm not familiar with, a GPS device is a lifesaver. It literally can save your life.
Yeah, I still don't have one.
To keep you out of going, especially to keep you out from going into. Okay. A perfect example. Back in the 70s, early mid 70s, I would go with Dad over the road. Okay? When I was still in school, I with my dad, and we'd run to Hunts Point, New York.
Right.
And then you had to go down through the Bronx. You had to take the Surface Street off of 95. You had to come off of 95 way up there, just up there over to Harlem. You had to get off. Remember, did you ever go into?
Oh, yeah, many times. Absolutely. Between the GW and down that way. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You had to go through that was battle. That was literally a battle zone.
Absolutely.
At trucks, they had set up. They wanted you to go in there with convoys. They wanted you to go. They did not want trucks going in there by themselves, because if you went there by yourself, what they would do is they would take their kids from the street to stop, run over them.
Yeah.
And they would jump up on the back trailer, take the bolt cutters and cut your lock, and open up your doors, and then be thrown out. And then when you took off, they'd be thrown out. You look back there behind you, and now that never happened to us.
Right.
I heard war stories about this happening. This really did happen.
Especially with produce.
Honestly, God, it did happen.
Yeah.
They unload. They throw your whole load out or half your load out.
Right on the street.
Before you get out of before you get 2 or 3 blocks down the road.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, they always had these minivans or mini trucks behind you that would stop and pick it up on the way by. Yeah.
Well, later on, you know, up until 2000. Now you go into Hunts Point, you don't have to go that way anymore.
Right.
They have an expressway that puts you right into Hunts right there, you know, right outside the area there, and you come in, and well, without a fix, you can't get, you know, if you haven't been there for a while,
right.
You wouldn't know which way to go, and where you'd be.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's when you go to the battle zone, you know, down there. Oh, that neighborhood of, you know.
Yeah, it just got to the point I just refused any load going there. I didn't even, if it didn't take me straight across, you know, and up the other side of 95 to Connecticut and that area or Massachusetts, I wouldn't take it. If it dropped down anywhere past the GW, I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
I refused it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did my share. That was enough. Yeah.
And that's really kind of sad now because
it is.
I love New York City now.
Yeah.
The city itself, I love New York City, and my first, again, you know, being when I was a kid, I was influenced. You know, I had some influences from, you know, that set me up. You know, that East Coast attitude where you
sure.
Somebody. Another good place for that was Boston Market.
Yeah.
But the Boston Market was, you know, there's a different surroundings. It wasn't like Hunts Point.
Right, right.
Boston Market was more like you're down there you're already in the market zone down there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're down there with warehouses and all that stuff. You know, you didn't have to go through too many neighborhoods. You didn't have to go through a neighborhood or anything like that. So,
right. Philadelphia is the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the people, you know, it should have got guys standing there, you know, at one, you know, have a beer in one hand and a hoagie in the other hand, you know, and you ask them for, you dip it over here, you pull it down over here, you know, and you know, it's like you're fucking with their sandwich, you know, you know, and I'm like, God damn, what's wrong with people, you know? And until I got to know them.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got to know people on the on the East Coast, now I get people like that now, you know. But your first, you know, first time you ever see anybody like that, you know,
sure.
You're like, that, you know, are rude, and these people are, you know, they just, you know, they got a different way of doing stuff, you know, and now, you know, I love those people. I love dealing with those people, being around them and stuff, you know. Parts of New York City, parts of the East Coast,
yeah.
I love, you know. But there's still some areas that you want to stay clear of. You don't want to, you know, and for the most part, every city is that way now. You know, there are neighborhoods and places you don't want to be at after dark.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And you know, even here in Tulsa, you know, I've delivered here in Tulsa back when I was driving, not now, but you know, 7, 8 years ago. There's some places right here that were you definitely didn't want to be down there after dark, you know.
Right.
But every city's like that. Pretty much now, every city in the United States is like that. Los Angeles is another place.
Mm-hmm.
Soto Street down there in LA. Those places that you definitely don't be down there after, you know. But that's you got to go down there. So that got to, or at least go through that area to get down to where you're going. You know, who is it? Farmer John's sausage and all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about? You know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Brand name. Well, that is made in East LA.
Oh,
their
cool.
Factory, well, one of their main factories is right there in East LA. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, it's on Market Street or Soto Street. Soto or Market. I don't remember. I get those two streets confused. But it's right down there, Market, Soto and Washington, I think. It's on the Soto, the intersection of Soto and Washington.
Right.
And that's not that's the barrio, man. That's they're after dark. You want daylight delivery and pickups only in that area, you know. But you got to go down there, you know. That's if you drive a truck, you know, if you drive a refrigerated transport truck, that's where you're going to go. At one time or another, you're going to end up down there, you know.
Sure.
You got the produce markets and all that stuff is down there in that area too, you know, which is really, that's a wild place after dark. Man, that's a strange place after dark. It's got a completely different personality, you know. Right. That's where all the hookers come out, and all the druggies come out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ooh. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that's just the way our world is, you know. I guess you know, here it isn't just the only place like that, you know. You got other cities and stuff like that all around the world that are like that. To this extent, you know. So, it's just you basically you know when to go there and when not to go there.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, it has to do with our culture and our society and everything, you know, and I'm a firm believer. I really am. You know, I have to believe in the good of human nature, you know, and somehow through all this greatness and all this unsure world that we live in, the chaos going on right now is it's got to be straightened out. You know, there's got to be some type of a step to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Of human evolution.
I tell you what, we're kind of lacking in that area if you actually stop and think about it. I don't care how much technology we have. I mean, you know, we can sit and talk about cell phones and computers and whatever all day long and that. But when you look at the human race in a whole, I've seen some of the dumbest people and ignorant people in my lifetime, more so now than I ever have. And I don't know if it's because technology is turning them that way or what. You know what I mean? It's just, I've never seen nothing like it. And chaotic. I mean, just people killing each other. And
in today's fast-paced way of living, we have created that. Society has created it.
Yeah, it's something, you know.
For good, or, you know, and, you know, another, this is getting way off base here on it, you know, but just stay with me, y'all. The presidential debate, you know.
Oh, from last night?
You know, I mean,
yeah.
What are we going to do? I mean, really, literally.
Sad.
I mean,
totally
right
sad.
Down to it, either one is going. I don't think either one has got a clue as to what really needs to be done or how to go about making the work.
No.
But
I mean, yeah, one's got more. One may have more government. What do you want to say? Government background. And the other one's got more of a dollar background, so to speak, you know. But I mean, I don't know. I just it just blows my mind that these are the only two people we got, and it's just unbelievable. What the hell happened to us as far as America? I just don't get it.
You tell it should be douchebag 1 or douchebag 2.
I know, and I just, where are these people that we've had in our government or whatever? I mean, I can't believe this is all we got. It just, I'm devastated. I really am. I am dumbfounded, you know, and to watch people run around, yay Hillary or yay Donald or yay, and it's like, are you kidding me? I mean,
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
You know.
The worst of the two evils, the less of the two evils. I think Trump is definitely probably the two evils.
I can't say that. I can't say that about either one of them. I really can't. I have to equal them both out as far as I'm concerned. I just, because what one lacks, the other one has, and what, and vice versa. It just doesn't, neither one of them have enough, period, as far as I'm concerned. It just, either way, whether it's experience in the White House or not, They just don't have the intelligence. And they don't know how to deal with real people. That's the key that I think I'm looking for, is they do not know how to deal with real people. If they met us on the street, they'd tell us what we want to hear, and then they'd walk away. That's it. Done.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off about it. Don't give me that,
Yeah.
We're ignorant.
That's why I can't. In a way, and this is what I was wanting to head to. This is where I was wanting to go to with this. Is that it's like the powers that be know that either way it's not going to make a difference, because there's going to come about a galactic change is going to take place. It's like no matter who's going to be in there, it's not going to make a difference, because there's something, it's like there's a great big puppet master over top of us, guiding us in this direction. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because as soon as they vote into office, right shortly thereafter, there's going to be some form of advanced technology is going to contact Earth, and
I hope you're right.
Some society, some human, and save us from this debacle that we're in,
I hope you're right. I don't know.
That's what it looks. But again, I could be wrong. We could be on a destructive force. That we're on the flip side of that, we're going to go towards getting, and the end of the world is going to come. So it's not going to make any difference that way either. And I don't know. It's crazy. I tried. I'm like you. I've tried figuring this out and tried looking at it and tried making some type of sense from it. And by God, this is the best that we could come up with.
I know, it's ridiculous. I just
give us to choose from.
Yeah. What happened to Sanders? That's the thing that really kicked me in the butt too, is when Sanders left, and he backed out and gave her the reign, and I'm like, no, you can't do that to us, Yeah. How does that work?
What about Romney? What happened to Mitt Romney?
I don't know. I don't know.
Why did he throw his hat in the ring on that?
I don't know.
I mean, he almost won the last election. He should have been in there.
Yeah.
And this one.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't even make an attempt to get into it.
No.
And it's like, I'm like, dude, what? Are you serious?
I don't know. Maybe because it's worse than it was the last time. I don't know. Maybe we're not worth working with.
For the real working class people and people that really Rick Perry, Governor Rick Perry from Texas. I think for living in Texas and being down there and seeing the way people are in their political in the great state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They should have put their money behind Perry to get his butt in there.
Right.
But he didn't. He stopped going that way, and then he just fell out. And I'm like, man, what happened to all when I was very first that Trump was in the running for president, I thought, I said, oh, bullshit. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You know? But then I thought, okay, I'm going to check him out. I'm going to see what he's about. I'm going to kind of look into it and see what he has to say. And you know what? Now, not everything that he says I believe in. Mm-hmm. Nothing that, I mean, you know.
Well, they're not always going to be 100% correct anyway. So
a lot of stuff that he proposed or come up with, you know, was man, he's got the right idea. He's got the right idea, you know, and maybe he. But now, after you know, and I couldn't even sit through the debates, you know. Yeah. I couldn't even sit through it, you know, because I'm like, what a giant douchebag. You know, he's sitting here saying all this stuff, and you know, I'm like,
yeah.
This is really good. And then knowing what we know about Hillary Clinton, you know, well, what I know about Hillary Clinton is what she did as Secretary of State.
Oh, I've known about her since she was a lawyer way back years ago when she was a lawyer for the U.S. Congress, and they fired her because she lied way back then. That was before her and Bill Clinton were even husband and wife. So yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, her and Bill Clinton was involved in the
a whole bunch of stuff.
The White River scandal.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes. Arkansas.
Yeah, and people forget all that stuff. Yeah, people forget about all that, you know. But I just,
you know, their partner. Hey, nobody knows about this, but they got in so deep that their partner in that real estate scam.
Yeah.
He ended up committing suicide.
Yeah, I didn't remember if he was suicide or somebody killed him, but
the scapegoat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but nobody remembers that stuff.
How crooked these people are, and that's why I was against.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton became president back in what year was that? 92.
Something like that.
92 or yeah, whenever he was first. That was the first one, and then he got real. You know, the next time, you know.
But he came really super close of getting ousted. You know, they wanted him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, they wanted to impeach him.
He almost got impeached.
Yeah, he damn near did.
He almost got his ass impeached. He really did.
So he wasn't all that, you know. Yeah. So.
That was again, they wormed their way out of that situation, but they made it to where it was more of a moral issues than it was.
Well, yeah.
Economic or it was issues of.
Well, don't lie to the American people. That's basically what it was all about. When he said, he didn't do anything and 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 he basically just up and lied to everybody, and it was like, really? You think we're that stupid? But think about this. Well, when you get to that position, you're the president of the United States of America. And when you get to the point where people are trying to impeach you, you stoop to a level that you could, you know what I'm saying? You can't get out of that. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry, no. When you get down to that level and they want to take you out of the seat and you're the president, that's sad. That's just sad. And now we got his wife, come on. Yeah. What a joke.
Yeah.
What a joke. I shouldn't be talking politics. I really shouldn't, because it's just upsetting. But it's just a sad thing of what our world is coming to. And I hope Mr. E.T. shows up really soon. I want to get off this frickin' planet. I really do. I want to get out of here in the worst way. It's like, come on, you know, I'm ready.
Yeah. Too bad the Anunnaki can't come back here and check on us, you know, and see how we're doing.
No kidding. Take me underground. Show me,
right our wrongs.
I'm serious. Yeah. Take me back underground.
I mean, when we look at when you look back into ancient history, you know, back to into actually history before there was a history. You know, going back, you know, 10,000 years or so, you know, it seems to me that there was a social structure that was going on here that really had a pretty good handle on how to do things and how to, well, all these ancient temples and stuff, you know, they had some idea behind how to build things and how things worked and how natural energy was able to be pulled out of the harnessed and pulled out of the earth.
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
You know, I that's what gives me hope. You know, and that we as human beings, you know, we can right the ship that we're on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But we have to start. You know, the worst thing that can be done is for all these things to go on and the good people to not do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt said something like that. The worst thing that can happen is for bad men to do bad and
the good man to do nothing.
About it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Tim, looks like we got Sid with us.
All right.
Yeah. Let me get him booted up here real quick.
All right.
We can get him going here. Here we go. Hello, Sid. How are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm pretty good. How's everything?
Good.
Good, man. Good.
We're just kind of shooting the breeze about anything and everything, so.
Yeah, listening for a couple of minutes. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you're having this today, man.
Yeah. Well, we try not to get too far off on base, but, you know, when it gets into things like that, I mean, it is upsetting, and, you know, it does pertain to our world, and, you know, and a lot of people are scared. They really are. They have no clue what's going on. And with all the conspiracy theories and with all this other stuff happening, what do you do? I mean, as a human being, I mean, you know, it is. It's,
I get back to depression sometimes, and you know, I mean, sometimes I wonder, you know, you got to have those low points to have very high points to that very high point.
Mm-hmm.
And also, with depression, it really purpose really can push depression away. Having a network of people, you know, that's why I'm always driving to build stuff and create stuff and produce videos and write, you know, literature. Because that's like a it's like a power that we have to push away.
Right.
Sort of like that, what was it, the Never-Ending Story, I think, or one of those kids thing where he said that when the story ends, it's like the great nothing comes to you, and that's what everybody fears in the fantasy world.
Right.
Where there's nothing, and all you have to do is, you know, write and create, and, you know, and when we're creating, that's when stuff can't really mess with us. When we're not creating, and we're looking for somebody else's validation, I notice that's when depression comes in. Full moon, definitely have to notice a difference. You know, sometimes I'll feel different. I definitely feel different, better when it's not closer to the full moon.
Right, right.
And that's something they never tell us, you know. So learning about us, learning about what we're here. Me, rebellion had a lot to do with it too, because growing up, I just kind of knew. I said, man, adults are full of a lot of, you know, not untruths, you know, and now as an adult, I guess I look at it as it's it's part of my being to let younger people know and, you know, what's going on. Because if I don't, I realize that from when I was 20 going into, you know, my late 30s, that's why the world was like this. Because I wasn't doing anything.
Right.
You know, so it is tough. It is tough. And I think what makes it easier is connecting with people. And that's why I like to connect with people all over the world, especially across the states, because it's very important. And that's, like Mark Twain said, it's the best way to get rid of prejudice is to travel. And also you lessen any type of depression. Depression kills people.
Sure it does.
And that's the truth. And this is the thing that, you know, we can easily get rid of because it's basically the great nothing. The great nothing of like when technology wasn't as crazy as it is now, people will get bored.
Right.
I remember when I was younger, a martial arts teacher told me, he said, being bored is resisting existence. Because so whenever you say that, you're resisting the fact that you exist. And it woke me up because I always thought, I said, yeah, you could always pick up a pen, a pencil, you could draw something, you could write something. Talking with people is good to an extent.
Right.
But people can get addicted to that. And then they look for people to call. I found myself doing it sometimes, you know, and you look at it and you say, wow, that's the problem that I got to look into myself because the hardest thing is to discipline ourselves to do stuff. I know this from production. It's hard to stay home on the weekends and you know, concentrate and write and edit, and that's all I've been doing, you know, for a very long time. But when I look at my production, that's like it makes me feel better. You know, I produce so much stuff that now I even take that kind of in a way for granted because you're always waiting for that budget and for that next deal to come in so you can have enough finances to basically just live.
Right.
And that is the problem. It is a problem.
Right. Yeah, you definitely got to have the money. You're not going to make it without it, that's for sure. You know.
Yes, this is why I'm so much into video production and writing, because I don't see any way making that money working a regular job.
Right.
Even though I still work a part-time regular job, I have to sacrifice. And that sacrifice of not buying new clothes, of eating, you know, I don't eat a lot anyway because I'm vegetarian, but, you know, living a Spartan way, very Spartan, that is, it makes me stronger, I think, because when I look at a lot of other people, they have problems that, it's not that I don't have them, it's because we're always going to have problems.
Sure.
Having the ability to solve those problems is much more important. I remember years ago, I told the guy, man, I'm tired of problems. You know, I can't wait till I just have no problems. And he woke me up. He said, look, man, you're always going to have problems. He said, just get that thought out of your mind. He said, you just always have to be ready and prepared to deal with them.
Correct.
And that, you know, is reality because we're always going to have them.
Yeah.
And it's like troubleshoot. You know, if nobody likes to troubleshoot stuff with mechanics and stuff, but you got to figure out what's wrong sometimes, or with your body, or with, you know, your health. And it comes back to that common denominator, taking the responsibility. I heard a Native American say, everybody talks about their rights. We have a right to do this, and this, and a right. He goes, but nobody talks about the responsibility they have.
Right.
The responsibility we have to make this a better world for the younger generation. And I think that's another part of times when maybe we don't feel good, because it's a feeling of non-accomplishment, of how much more could have been done. I mean, I've been in chemtrails for 13 years now. I was first camp chosen in 2003 by a man that I don't even speak with anymore. But the thing is that, you know, I look at it now and I'm saying, man, a day with cumulus clouds has become a memory. And you try to talk to somebody about this stuff, and it's zombie land, because they're still trying to determine if it's true or not.
Right,
right. Wait a second.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's serious. There's not many people left that can think rationally, and that's why, you know, shows like this show and other shows really are needed. You know, and hopefully more people, you know, call in and you know, and participate.
Right.
I'll tell you, you know, not just with this show here, but in my everyday life, I try to do something every day to make things better anywhere around, to enlighten the younglings, or to maybe bring about some knowledge to older people. You know, I do my part, but it seems like people don't want to know, or they're happy with the way things are, or they're so caught up in their day-to-day life that they don't have any time to look at the big picture, that they're dealing with their you know, their issues you know, on a personal level, and that's enough for them. You
know what I've seen? Not to break you up there, Tim, but quite honestly, and I'm really devastated about this, but the drug hold that our young people are going through right now is just totally amazing to me. It's like, you know, that's all it is anymore is drugs. Drugs, and that's, I don't get this. I just don't get it. I mean, wow. Yeah, okay, I smoked some pot when I was young. I drank my beer, my alcohol, and whatever, and that's, you know, but I still had to wake up and smell the roses. You know, I still had to be responsible. I still had to do all that stuff. I had to be a father. I had to, you know, blah, blah, blah. But, wow.
Well, in today's world, you can't, if you're going to have a job, you're subject to random drug testing and stuff like that. If you have responsibilities to take care of, you can't do that. And that's what I was. You know, when you know, I've been a working man, you know, all my life.
Right.
And except for my in my years when I was younger, you know, I was a pothead when I was a teenager and all that stuff. You know, and later on, you know, you know, being going into you know, as Sid, this is where man, I really dig what you have to say and everything, because you and I, it seems like we paralleled everything that we've done. Because I got tired of high school. You know, when I was younger, I got tired of, you know, I wasn't learning anymore.
Right.
I got to the point where when I got into my junior year in high school, I had already learned. I already knew calculus. I knew algebraic logic. I could break things down and everything, you know, and everything else just seemed to be rudimentary. It just became stagnated. So I sat down with Dad, and my dad was a decorated veteran from the Korean War. So you know, he took me down to the recruiting office when I was 2 months before I turned 18, and signed me up, and I went down and took my my GED and passed high enough that I went and took my APs test and scored on my test on that test that I could have went into any field I wanted to go into. I could have went into anything except college. I didn't you know, you had to do a different deal to do that, but anything else, it was wide open. So I chose to be my first choice was Stevie. I wanted to be a heavy equipment operator. 3-year wait for that. And I said, well, I ain't gonna wait 3 years. I want to go right now. So what's your next choice? And so and being from San Diego, being born in San Diego and going to all the open houses there and aircraft carriers back when I can remember I've been on board a lot of the carriers, most of them, all of them now have been decommissioned. But I was always fascinated by aviation, so I said, I want to go into aviation. I said, well, okay, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be an engine mechanic. So I said, okay, sign me up for an engine mechanic. And I became a jet engine mechanic and went to school for that, well, went to boot camp, went to school for jet engine mechanic, did all that, became a jet engine mechanic, and went on out went into the fleet, and ended up working on helicopters. cross-rated, and not only that, but I was also worked on recip engines. I went to school for jet engines, but they had me working on recips of small engines and large 18-cylinder radial engines. Got to work on that. Plus, also we had 6 helos, so I got to go. I went over and worked on 6 helos also, 6 UH-1Ms, and became a plane captain on UH-1M. You know, and I knew them birds inside and out, you know, and all that stuff, you know, and all the everything that went with that. Yeah, you know, so yeah, you know, I understand, you know, a lot of what you're saying. I understand everything you say, man, and just kind of give you a background, kind of get off course there a little bit, you know, but it really, you know, I learned as I was going, and I got out of the, you know, got out of the drug use, you know, and then later on got back into the drug world a little bit, you know, when I got out of the Navy, and no fault of my own, but had battles with that, you know, with with a little bit of drug use and everything, but first of that, you know, I got away from that, but you know, if you're a working man, it seems like, well, if you're a working person, if you have a professional occupation, you can't afford to be caught in any drug use.
Right,
you know?
right.
If you have responsibilities and things like that, you definitely don't want to have any part of that.
Right.
So, and it gets to where I'm at now, and I went on in 2011. I signed up for disability because my hip just got to be too bad for me to get around, and went and got checked out. And lo and behold, for most people, there's at least 2-year wait to get on disability. Well, I was so bad by the time I signed up, because I did not want to sign up. You know, I've been a workman all my life, so I didn't want to sign up for disability. I didn't want that. I wanted to keep on working. I wanted to work until I was 72 years old.
Right.
Or older. I never wanted to. I could never see myself not working. You know, I didn't want to be that person. You know, I didn't want to be somebody that didn't have anything to do. Well, got to the point where I had to go on disability. When I signed up for disability, from the month I signed up on disability to the day I was approved, you know how long I waited? 4 months.
Wow.
4 months.
That's not long at all, really.
It took me 4 months to get my approval, to get my approval, and everybody was telling me, well, it's going to take you a while. You know, you're going to, and I told them that I had been approved, and they said, oh, bullshit. Nobody gets approved that quickly.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I sure did, you know, but it's because I do have a viable, you know, and I didn't have any record, you know, I didn't have any record of drug use or anything else, but, you know, everybody else I know that has had some type of a history or some type of a criminal record,
right,
involving drugs, one type or another. And it doesn't matter if it was if it happened when you were a teenager or if it happened in your adult life. If you have a record involving drugs, well, you're not going to get anything.
Yeah, you're pretty well marked.
That's what I see. That's how I see it, because I didn't have a criminal record or anything, and I was approved. You know, that's the one thing that I can say that why I got it. You know, I'm not trying to put anybody down or say, well, that's your fault for having it. Because, you know, a lot of people get a record for bullshit reasons, you know?
Sure, absolutely.
And it's very unfair. It's very unfair, but it seems like it's the way our society is set up.
Yeah.
You know, our society is set up that, you know, you get in that, just like the criminal revolving door system, you know. I've never been involved in it, but I see how it works, and I see how people have gotten caught up in that, you know, that once they get caught up, once the cops recognize who they are, they never leave them alone.
True, yeah.
And, you know, it's very unfair. That's something that's very, and it doesn't matter what your ethnicity or your color is, color of your skin or anything else.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that's the way it is, and that's the way it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
You know, especially when it comes to marijuana laws, and that's why I'd love to do it. You know, and I'm giving everybody I can to get on the bandwagon to legalizing, at least reducing marijuana laws and making medicinal marijuana available in all states. You know, not just a few, not just a few places. You know, but everywhere, because I know what it's like. I've been in pain. I have a crushed femur cap, and my hip is completely wasted. Well, they had me on OxyContin and fentanyl patch, and I had to get off that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I said, nope, I don't want that. He said, well, what do you want? I said, give me some good weed, man.
Yeah.
So they laughed at me and looked at me and said, we can't do that here.
Yeah.
We don't have those marijuana laws here. You know? I said, well, see, we need to change that.
Yeah, we need to move or do something. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go get me some good weed. I'll go get me some good weed. And man, I'm set, dude. Hey, I'm good. And you know, I'm no dumbass. Because I smoke weed, it hasn't made me retarded, stupid, or non-functional, or you know, taking anything away from me. As a matter of fact, if anything, it's helped to open my horizons or open my mind up, you know, or keep me, you know, in that learning ability, you know. Or, now, I'm not high today. I haven't smoked anything today, but, you know, I'm no different now than I would be then.
Right.
I'm the same person. It's, you know, it's still me. But I, you know, and I have verifiable proof of knowledge I have. You know what all I can do.
Right.
What all my, you know, my backgrounds consist of. But you know, it's not like, you know, I'm not retarded or anything. Now the bad thing about it is that for the most part, now it seems to me like a lot of people like to smoke weed to the point where they get retarded.
Well, they do, yeah.
They can't do anything, you know.
Exactly. That's how it is.
Why do you do that?
Yeah, it's always the abuse part. Yeah.
Why do you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, weed is actually the Surgeon General. I think she's still Surgeon General. She said that there was a lie to say it was a gateway drug. It was it's actually a preventative of that. Alcohol is actually the gateway drug, which leads to unprotected sex, you know. And when I was in the Army, you know, I got lucky. The recruiter got me in without getting a high school diploma. So I guess there was a quota here in New York. And, you know, I look as fortunate now because I did, you know, all my time as a young person. But when I was in there, I smoked weed in the Army like every day almost. I mean, we smoked a lot of weed in there. I drank alcohol. I mean, I stopped drinking when I was around 24, 25. So I haven't drank since. And it wasn't because, you know, I drank a lot. It was because I wasn't really a drinker. I liked smoking more because you didn't get a hangover. It was much more of a milder crowd. Whenever I drank, you know, in the military, we always got into fights, like severe fights. I mean, you go to the hospital, all of that, put people in the hospital. And I noticed the common factor was the alcohol, especially when you drank liquor. And, you know, I started to, the rebellious side, again, the me not caring, that's what was saved me. Not caring about finishing high school because it was killing my mind. It was, if you learn quick, it will destroy you because it will make you stay at a slow pace, which, it's like driving a car in second gear instead of shifting to third, and you mess up the transmission, and that's what they do to kids. And the similarity that we have is that we both said, hey, you know what? I don't care what your rules are. I'm breaking it because I got to save myself.
Right.
And a lot of, you know, what I think is worse now is the drugs themselves, because Clarence is right. It's just a ridiculous amount of drug addicts. It's the pills. The pill, one thing I see that's different is when I was in my 20s, every store advertisements for pills on television. They are thrown down people's throats so much.
Absolutely.
He even said, he goes, you know, primetime television at night is like a pharmaceutical predator commercial wonderland because all you see is pills. Take this, do you have this? And now kids are doing it. It's been known years ago, 10, 15 years ago, that kids were breaking up Ritalin and sniffing it. And it was having the effects of like narcotics. And now this is the stuff that the state pushes down parents' throats for the kids to take it. It's daydreaming in class. Daydreaming is illegal now. Like Brave New World, that movie shows where every time you had a problem, you took a pill called Selma. When everybody went to the nightclub, they took pills to get high. And when I look at it now, one girl had a good analysis. She said, yeah, Pac-Man, video games, they don't subliminally influence you. Because if they did, everybody would be munching pills, sitting in the dark, listening to repetitive music. That's what we saw in the 90s from the 80s video game mind programming systems. I mean, I played video games up until probably up to the late 90s, early 2000, and then I just stopped. I never, you know, I played harder sometimes, and I saw that that is another vice that can destroy your life. That I see a lot of my nephews gone, too far gone. You can't just, you got to press injection and let them go. Just, you're not saving these people. And it's like Frederick Douglass said, it's better to build strong children than repair broken men. That's what made me look at it very realistic too. It's like not everybody's going to be saved. And if we look at the correlations, like the things that line up, 15 years ago they started this war, dropping bombs in Afghanistan. Now we have pictures of soldiers guarding these poppy field seeds. The heroin epidemic has come back.
Absolutely.
In the last 15 years. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, when I told a person that I worked with, this was in 2000, not 2010, the paper had on it where you could get heroin for $5 in Long Island, New York. And I told them, see that ad? I said, that's not an article. That's an ad. I said, nobody knows where you can get heroin for $5, but now everybody knows where you can get it on Long Island, and that's where the ad is. Do you see how insidious the state is?
Wow.
I mean, the fact that we trusted, and it comes from us, the fact that we trusted people that were stealing native land or letting other people live okay is what led to this. Because if we look at it as okay, it was illegal to drive a car, it was illegal for certain people to read, it was illegal for women to watch those injustices and to think that same evil force is going to be beneficent to us is, again, not living in reality, not being realistic. So we see today so many people are in transition. So as I look at it, I say, yeah, I didn't even know. I remember as a small kid seeing all of this stuff and all the adults just covering it up, saying that, hey, as long as you're not getting treated as the people that are getting treated really bad, just shut up. And matter of fact, don't say nothing, and you better go along with it, and you better start lying for other people. So I learned early on that's the type of world I lived in, that everybody in my family is a sellout, basically.
Wow.
I'm looking for ones that aren't, and I realize that usually it's only one person per family that wakes up. Because that's why I'm talking to you. You're the one that woke up in their family. Clarence is the one who woke up in his. And I have other friends that tell me the same thing, because I came up with this theory years ago. I said, yeah, isn't it funny that we have sisters and brothers, but we don't even want to be near them. We want to talk to each other because most of our families have sold out mentally, even without knowing they sold out. And it's sad because, you know it as a kid.
Oh, we got to skip there. I don't know. Did I lose everybody? Yep, we sure did. Okay, we dropped. Hang on, folks. Let me get us back in here. Yep, we sure did. Here we go again. Wow, this is crazy. Unbelievable.
So now, press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Why does this happen? I'm going to have to get a hold of them.
We don't, we thought we had schizophrenia. No, it's not just control. You better crush that calculus right now. Because it's going to come, it's like the 48 laws of power. Just extinguish it. Leave an ember burning because it will reignite and come back to burn you. So these laws are important for us to understand. Some people who are just totally brainwashed will try to just be all good. Like a lot of people in my family, and I'm just like, you know what? That led me to realize that what's the best definition of the word slave? It's not somebody that took you and enslaved you, because that's really called kidnapping. So these people weren't really slaves, they were kidnapped. The definition of a slave is someone who waits for someone else to free them. So you can kidnap somebody, and then you have somebody that they call a runaway slave, which is not, that again is wordplay. No, that's a person that's running away from a kidnapper. He escaped kidnapping. But you're going to try to say, you know, oh, it's this and that. This is what we're taught to believe. So when the terminology and the words, we really got to think about, like, man, somebody has really dumbed this down to where people, if people don't want to leave the plantation.
Right.
That's still call it the plantation today. Actually, this whole thing is a big-ass plantation. Now, that's all it is. It's a plantation, and you got it's a concentration camp that we built, and we're afraid to leave. And New York is the epitome of that. It's called the Empire State. This is the Empire. Tell people, look at the building. The Empire, the Empire. The Darth Vader. This is the Empire State. We used to call it the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
We try to say the big apple. A lot of us call it the rotten apple. For what it really. And we see, like me myself, a native New Yorker, born in Brooklyn, I don't like to go to Manhattan because I'm worried about the police kick the shit out of you. And you know what's going to happen? They choke them into death on camera, and all 4 of those guys were police. And that's fact, they were protected. And that's what sparked all of the protests up here. And I look at that and I say, man, it's crazy because I know what they did was wrong. But the answer isn't, you know, it definitely was good that they stopped the shopping and stuff. But I'm thinking, well, the real way to stop it is to, like, something happened in a football team stopped playing or something. It was only like high school hours.
Right.
It changed stuff. And you started to see that, oh, so that's where the chink in the armor is. And then they never did that again. So it showed me that this whole big thing is again, a masquerade. Because if you really want to stop it, you won't watch sports.
Right.
You won't support none of the news channels. You'll create alternative media yourself and link up with other people and help them say, hey, I found this story. Did you know about this? Did you know about? And that's what daily life comes. That's actually a real revolutionary because you don't. A revolutionary, you have to live it. It's like a vegetarian. You can't say, oh, I want to be healthy or whatever. And not to say that everybody should be a vegetarian because I don't think one diet is right for everybody.
Right.
You have this false reminder because we've been trained to fall in these categories to think that we're doing the right thing, and then we fall into another cult, which vegetarianism and veganism and raw foodism, they have those big cults. New Age movement, big cult. The psychic movement, big cult. When I give lectures at places, I had to stop because so many other people that were giving lectures at that place were total fraud. And I told the management, I said, you know, I still don't have nothing against them. I said, but think about that. I'm giving a lecture on scientific reality prevailing life.
Right.
And you got somebody next to me trying to come in and just, he's a total lunatic that cut the kite string and he's just flying in the sky saying anything that is ridiculous. And that kind of could make my credibility less.
Right.
You know, only because people aren't thinking. If people were thinking, then the credibility, nothing would be a matter. But people get into a state of mind control. Like when you watch a program that's fictional, it's not like in a debate where you can say, well, what'd you say? No, I don't think that's right. No, you can't say that to the television. The television is your mouth open and it's feeding you down your throat.
Right.
And children play from this. So I have to remind myself, when I speak to somebody in their 20s, I'm speaking to somebody that's been massively abused and doesn't even know they've been abused. They actually think that they're a special child that's privileged.
Right, right.
Meanwhile, you're a kid that's been neglected and raised by television, violence, the state, and immorality.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
Very true.
Wow.
We're the guys that can change it, man. We have to change it.
You think, though, it's possible to change it?
I try to do my part.
You are. You're doing a big thing. I mean, just the stuff you say. I mean, I see the parallel. You're right. I mean, you're thinking. And the analogy of us being in a zombie land, like Dawn of the Dead, is very true. These are the reasons why George Romero made Dawn of the Dead and why he made it in a mall with the zombies, because they saw how the shopping and this culture can turn you into a zombie, and what do zombies want to eat? They want to eat your brain. And we're the ones that think.
Oh my
so
gosh.
We make, it's so true. I wrote about this years ago. I said, anytime you come out with thoughts, they automatically identify you, and they come like trolls to quell those thoughts, like the thought police. So they eat those thoughts away, and then you become zombified too. And you see it happen people who aren't as advanced, you know, not to say that we're way advanced to people, because there's people more advanced than us.
Right.
They're not as advanced as us, and their newly found thoughts can be diminished and eaten away quickly by the zombies that they're around. They don't realize that you can't find the truth and tell people. You got to find the truth and immediately build barriers to protect you from the zombies that are going to try to eat that truth out of your mind and get you to think like your old self.
Right.
This is what we're in, man. We're in Invasion of the Body Snatchers was made because of that. Because think of the analogy. When you fall asleep, that's when the new body is formed from the pod, and then you never wake up, and the body takes your place as the double.
Right.
Just like in society, you say, oh, that person's asleep, man. He's not aware. We're aware. It's such a strong analogy. And they were taking sleeping pills not to go to sleep, and so they wouldn't turn into a body snatcher. So the whole thing was about not falling asleep.
Right. Staying awake.
As an ordinary person will say, oh, physically, you mean? No. We're talking about this metaphorically. Because
right.
This is, if you go to sleep mentally and say, holy smoke, no. This guy coming into office, he's going to help us. That's the person falling back to sleep. You see, so when you start to realize, like, wait a second, voting doesn't make any sense, because the electoral college is like,
it's rigged.
Start to say, yeah, we don't. That's meant to keep people quiet.
Yeah.
And that's why, like Bill Cooper said, athletes are paid $10 million. You know, and I used to think of that. Why are you paying a guy $10 million that throws a ball, catches balls?
I was just saying that today to somebody. That's ironic you said that, because I just said that same thing to somebody else today. Exactly about football. Ain't that weird?
That's the super consciousness. We're linking up. Our super consciousness has linked up to where we can kind of, there's a vibration, and it's true. And Cooper said it's because the Caesar or the leader will do anything to distract you. The Romans, of Rome, he said, you're seeing me as a criminal? Let me throw some Christians to the lions, and everybody forgot about it. And we see that same tactic today.
Yeah.
This is Rome.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is a new. John Paco wrote a book. He called America the Praetorian Guard. How Caesar used to have the Praetorian Guard that were like the elite Secret Service. And just like the movie Gladiator, he said, yeah, they don't fear Caesar, they fear his Praetorians.
Right.
So we're the Praetorian Guard for the New World Order. And this is why when you look at America, America is a place that sucks the best from every country. It pulls all the immigrants from other countries that are practically the strongest mind. So it diminishes that country in that way, and then it overfloods this country.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, well, I read one thing that was funny. It said, if you ever were paranoid of immigrants coming over here and destroying a country, just remember we celebrate a day where it actually happened, called Thanksgiving.
It's true.
And that again.
Yeah.
You know? I had to get out of that mode. I mean, people look at me as an alien when I say I don't celebrate the holidays. And I say, look, and I'm not saying I boycott them,
right.
But I'm not going to, you know, yeah, it's ridiculous. And then I said, when you look at homeless people, which are all over New York,
yeah.
I said, you just kind of get a guilty complex. It's like, I don't want to, you know, it's like, come on, man, this is ridiculous. People are eating and having food, tons of leftover stuff in themselves, and you got people that are looking through garbage cans to eat.
Right.
And they just, that alone, any problem we have, we got to look back and say, yeah, man, a lot of it comes from me. I wish someone would change the world, and then I realized I was some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all those people. We're the pioneers. We're a few of them. You know, and I think we need to link up with a lot more.
Yes. There are a lot of people who are waking up. There's no doubt in that.
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly think, Tim, it's the other way around. I think people are actually falling asleep. And I think the ones that are awake will stay awake, but I think the rest of them are all just going to fall asleep. I honestly believe that. I think it's the dark ages, you know. And, you know, and like Sid said, you know, as long as you stay awake, you know, I don't...
More that aren't, there are a lot that aren't getting, that they don't want to be
bothered.
They don't want to be. They don't want to see a change come about because they're happy with
whatever
being dumbed down. They're they're not so much happy. They're rewarded for their part they do.
Yeah, yeah, which is nothing.
Like you said,
yeah.
You know, if you go through school and you be a good robot, you'll get a diploma. You know, and you don't get a diploma from learning what's right and what is the truth. You get a diploma from learning what they want you to learn.
Right.
What they're
what
they're running down your throat, and even though you may have questions about it, as long as you are a good robot, and you're a good functioning unit.
Right.
You get rewarded for that.
You know, this is what happens with me on Facebook and stuff. This is exactly what we're talking about with me on Facebook and stuff. When I debunk these people on their conspiracy theories or different other things, and these people with these fake ass flat Earth videos that they put up and things like that, and I jump on the bandwagon and I point out the wrongs. You know, I don't do it because I know more or I'm trying to put myself on a pedestal. I do it to keep the other people from following that crap, you know, and to try to keep them awake and not veer off on that path of you know, going back to sleep, you know. And it's tough. It is so tough to do, you know. And I get condemned for it. I really do. I get condemned for doing what I do. But it's like, I don't see no one else speaking the truth or trying to, or at least, you know, giving some kind of explanation. I mean, there's a handful of us that I have on Facebook, you know, out of the conglomerate that we have. But there's a handful that I can rely on, you know, for backup, you know, and that's it, you know.
That's again, like the movie The Body Snatchers. Those are the ones that want to put people to sleep. And, you know, all I have to do is say, you know, there's a possibility that it could be this way. And that changes the whole vibration. The way you say, okay, you're not trying to put in my head is flatness, a definite flat. And that's what I noticed, that they kind of constructed a psychological engineering of people to where we can't just speculate about it. It has to be flat. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Where the danger comes in, where now they start preaching it, and just like, the body snatchers, people go to sleep, they're trying to put them back to sleep. So the analogy is very strong to say, hey, we have these people who, these are the zombies, they're the equivalent of the zombies that go around and try to mentally bite out the thoughts of anything realistic and push this stuff in. That's the problem. I would say, hey, you know what? I don't know. But I know one thing for sure. I know you don't know. And they get, a little offended. And I tell a lot of people that almost for anything in archaeology. I said, look, I don't even know, I haven't gone up into space and the Earth or whatever. So it's a definite, yes, that's it. It reminds me of the thing. It says, only a fool has all the answers. And I see these scientists and, these guys are planetarian, all of this evolution. And I realized, I was like, man, you're just a fool. Because you have all the answers. You try to make me look like I'm a person that doesn't know because I'm honest and say, well, I really don't know.
Right.
But you don't know either.
Right.
You see, and that's the thing we hold them to that. They say, yeah, I don't know. But I know for sure that you don't know. And then they start to get a little cross. They say, oh, this one got away. This one still thinks. Just like in the movie They Live by John Carpenter, when he was seeing people, when he put the glasses on, he was seeing aliens. And the lady in the store goes to her watch, she goes, I come here that can see. So in other words, again, he's awake, and he got awake by putting on those glasses that were made by people like us. Who are kind of like a mental resistance. Because that's what we are. And there's many pockets of mental resistance around the world that we see, especially with the internet.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Very true.
It's great. It's fascinating. It's like we really are in the movie, and it's an act.
It's a good analogy. I like that.
It's fun. One guy said, if you're not going to have dancing and singing and fun, that would be a revolution. And I realized he's right. You got to just, it's happening just the way it's supposed to. And nothing is wrong. It's just, and it's happening. And we sit. All this societal crap melts away. Depression, worry, fear, and you start to see that sometimes when you look at them, as crazy as it may sound, the homeless person is the freest person around. It's the person that he's the one that just says, I totally don't care.
Right. Yeah, he's not in the system. Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage, And again, in the movie They Live, from John Carpenter in 1988, he said that you see where they were killing off the homeless. So he knew another movie producer was trying to show us what was happening. He was showing how the police came at nighttime and would raid the whole homeless area until the next day they were rebuilding it.
Right.
And everybody was, in shambles. Just like they showed the video of the cops in Florida and other places ripping up tents that the homeless had set up.
Right.
I mean, when you look at that, that's like, if that is some stormtrooper type, empire stuff, what is it?
Yeah.
And people will say, well, this and that. And those are the robots in society. Those are the people are more of a threat than the government lords themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
The door, the cage with us, that when you try to escape, they tell.
Yeah.
Or they say, what are you doing? Don't try to escape. And that's when you realize that not everybody wants to leave the plantation.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I have to admit, I'm really not sure what exactly to do, but I'm definitely sure of what not to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do, but I know what I shouldn't do. And what I shouldn't do is to take the pills that they tell me I should take.
Right.
Because, they're intelligent and all this stuff on TV. I shouldn't eat the foods that they tell me to eat.
Right.
Because that is very important. When I realized that, most vegetarians get get on this thing like, oh, the animals. It's like, look, I'll kill you and eat you if I have to. For health,
Right.
I look at it and say, okay, if I don't got to eat, I feel good. I was never a big eater anyway.
Right.
Skinny guy, and it's just, I look at that and I say, man, okay, that's one thing. The thing that really got me were people that say, well, wait a minute, this stuff is killing people and causing coronary heart disease and obesity and all this.
Right.
Why the hell is it being sold?
Right.
So a lot of the vegetarians, they don't care about that. They just care about all the animals and this and that because most of them haven't really worked a hard day in their life.
Yeah.
And hard work really does change a person.
Sure.
And the clowns, we know about this.
Yeah.
And we see these people that are so privileged and pompous and spoiled, and it's like, that's a problem. And I see now why the word is called spoiled rotten. Because they've been spoiled to the point to where they're rotten.
They're rotten, yeah,
they
absolutely.
Get a drug addiction,
yeah.
And they're gone.
Yeah. That's true. Very true. Sad situation. And I'm not downing vegans. God bless you if you can do it, but I have to have my red meat. I'm sorry, I cannot live without it. That's just me, But I love fish. I love that kind of stuff too.
I'm about 100% vegetarian, so I can't say that I'm vegan.
Yeah.
But I do live I do live off of mainly vegetables and nuts. I eat a lot of cashews and pistachios.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think a lot of my problem is I'm afraid of the change. I really do, body wise, and I think, and don't ask me why. Maybe it's just my upbringing. But I have a fear that if I quit eating meat, I will die. I mean, literally. I don't think I can live off anything else.
It's only been the last year and a half that I've gone to a primarily vegetarian diet.
Yeah.
Because I always thought, because vegetarians to me were always with paley or pasty. They, especially vegans, people who didn't eat meat.
Right.
They didn't look like they were too healthy.
Right.
So I've always been one to, say, I like my red meat. I like it. I love a good sirloin steak.
Absolutely.
Man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cooked medium well.
Yeah.
Medium well with a baked potato. I'm there, man.
Yeah.
But I don't eat that anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't eat red meat anymore. I do eat chicken, and I do eat turkey,
mm-hmm.
and occasionally I might have a little bit of salmon.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have some salmon occasionally, but but what I really want is some venison backstrap.
Oh wow!
And
yeah, now you're talking. Absolutely.
There's nothing any better than fresh venison backstrap.
But let me ask you something though. Does that carnivistic thing that we have, this thing about eating meat, do you think that's one of the deadly sins? I mean, really? Or, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of confused on that subject,
I don't know. It's kind of like sugar.
Right.
It's kind of like sugar.
Yeah.
I think that what I have thought of, and it was from reading science fiction novels when I was younger. I read in the big writer that I read a lot of was Ray Bradbury, and he has a book. There's a book that he wrote that was called something, Fruits of the Sun, or something like the Grapes of the Sun,
mm-hmm.
or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it talked of another world that had humanoid people that came from there.
Right.
It was humans like us. Now there's a little bit of differences in us, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But they had their food source they had on that planet was all vegetable based. They had no sugar. They had no dairy. They had nothing. They had no red meat.
Right.
The only thing they ate was these plants,
mm-hmm.
and it sustained them very well. It had protein and all the nourishment that you need.
Well, regular fruit.
People were very healthy.
Regular fruit like apples and oranges, oranges, and stuff like that all have natural sugar in it anyway. You know.
Oh yeah.
So there again, you know.
But they came to the earth, and they seen what all we had here, and they went crazy on all the different foods we had. Well, what if not what if, I believe that we did not evolve as number one. I believe us humans evolved here on Earth. I believe that we came from another place.
Yeah.
That we are the aliens here. We are the aliens on this Earth, in this world, and that's why we have problems with people having sugar diabetes, because that's not in a natural process. Red meat is not good for our digestive system. Yada yada yada. You know, a lot of foods and stuff. You know, but there's so many. The diversity of food and of plant and animal food here on this planet is just unbelievable.
But see, that's the thing. Now you go online, and like I said, I'm not trying to take away anything from vegans. You know, vegans. God bless you. I mean, I wish in a sense I could do that. But here again, you go online and you read about proteins and carbohydrates and all that stuff, and they give you a list, and red meat is like right on the top, you know, and certain fats and certain grams of starch and blah 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 on down the line. It's like, it's so confusing. It's like either you're telling me to kill myself or you're telling me to kill myself. I don't you know what I mean? What do you do? I mean
I realized that was a big thing when I switched what I ate. It was like, wow, wait, this is killing people. Nobody cares about it.
Right.
I saw that was a real problem. And then when I had stopped drinking alcohol way before I became a vegetarian, because I still love to eat meat, but I wasn't a picky meat eater. I was a guy that would, cut the London boil and say, I'm not eating that vein right there. I'll eat around the vein.
Right.
So, some people would eat the vein. It was easier for me to give it up because I was picky. And I had to actually stop beef for the year and eat chicken and like potatoes and macaroni. And then when I totally stopped the chicken, that's when I needed the macaroni and the potatoes and stuff, the full feeling. And I realized that the food was more addictive than anything else.
Oh, it's got to be.
Sugar,
Sure.
Crystallized sugar, it's drugs. There's a study right now.
For you people that
find Oreo cookies are more addictive than cocaine.
Right here. For you people watching YouTube.
And you can buy them yourself. You're selling to kids. And you look at that and you say to yourself, it's kind of like a lot like how these producers made aliens like right here controlling us through these things.
Hey.
We clearly seem to be alien to the planet. I mean, the sun, no matter who you are, the sun will cook your eyes. Once you hit 100 years old, you're going to form certain
cataracts. Right. Absolutely.
An extremely natural light.
Yeah.
So the sun cooks, certain parts. And, we look at that and we say, man, it's like we seem to be decoys because we can't catch anything unless we make a tool or a trap or something. To chase a chicken and catch it is almost impossible.
Right.
It's like our mind, our ingenuity comes from that, and then we really don't know the origin. And what should give us a clue is that there's always something trying to lie to us that has infected other humans, we are the humans, trying to tell us that, no, it's not like that. That alone should give a clue. It's kind of like having a wife, and for no reason, she says, hey, I'm not cheating on you. Don't worry about it. I'm not cheating. That's going to make you damn. Why did you bring that up? You probably are. Now you're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
The sleeping pill, the planetary sleeping pill that is thrown at everybody, has them not even saying that. And that's the scary part, to say, wow, we're getting these signs and people, not only are they not saying that, they'll say, nah, man, your wife told you she's not cheating on you, so she's not cheating on you.
Right.
You know, and that's the sad part about it. Because up to our weight, we're like, what, are you out of your mind? You know, and it is crazy. It really is crazy when you look. It's zombie land. I had to actually be like, yes, the closest analogy, and this is why shows like The Walking Dead and these crappy zombie shows make so much money, because again, it's like an escape. When the person does the drug, the television is the escape. The drug food is the escape.
Right.
And that's what we live in right now. We live in a whole different type of Rome. This is like Nazi Rome blended together. You know, and that's what has covered the planet. You know, it's crazy, but it's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we got about
you know,
5 minutes left, so. Yep. So go ahead, Tim.
Well, what I was going to say is, you know that in the 14th and 15th century, sugar said high value, that it was worth more than gold.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because you know, nobody had it, and then after sugar in the 16th, I believe in the 15th century, in the 1600s.
Salt.
The big thing was chocolate.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
To that point, chocolate was unheard of. It wasn't until the explorers, until Cortez and the Spaniards invaded Central America and Mexico and took out the Aztecs and brought back the coca plant to France, or to Europe, and then it ended up in France. Chocolate. That's when chocolate was invented, more or less. Chocolate we know today.
Wow.
And it had such a high value that only extremely wealthy people got chocolate. You know, only if you were very, very rich. And now chocolate is.
Well, it's everywhere. Yeah.
You know, yeah, every store is about you can buy chocolate in. Anywhere you go, you can buy chocolate. You know, and we don't think nothing of it, but it influences us so much because it's a drug.
Right.
I mean, it's a derivative of cocaine, for crying out loud. Nobody ever stops to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, cocaine and chocolate come off the same plant. You're going to tell me that they're not related, that they don't have some type of chemical properties that are
Coca-Cola. You know?
Yeah. Be around some women during their time of month. They don't have no chocolate, but see how it controls them, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
I'm that way with peanut butter. Does that count? I am. I'm that way with peanut butter. If I don't have my peanut butter, forget it. I'm you know, you don't even want to be around me. Oh, Lord. That's funny. Well, guys, we got about 2 minutes left. And I want to thank you guys for calling in tonight. It was a really good show. We talked about everything under the sun you could imagine. I like doing that.
And we talked about a lot tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
It was great. Thank you.
But
thank you, Sid. Thanks, Sid.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Clarence.
Alrighty.
Yeah, Clarence. Thank you, brother.
Oh, you're welcome, Tim. Thank you. I appreciate it. Alrighty. In the meantime, if you haven't checked out Rob's page yet, please do that. Get on Facebook, and it's the Full Spectrum Universe, and he's doing some live shows himself now, getting things around, and you know, I've yet to catch one.
90 seconds.
Here we go, 90 seconds. But anyway, when he brings them up and stuff and whatever, you know, check him out. And he's got a good thing going on there. I'd like to see him get going, you know, even further. So we'd like to help him out with that.
Yes.
So that'd be cool.
Yes.
Also,
I'm an admin. I'm an admin in Full Spectrum Universe too.
Cool. Good deal.
You know,
sweet.
You're welcome there. So you see me there, say hi.
60 seconds.
Say hi to us.
Cool. Good deal.
Sure.
Before I forget, run outside tonight, catch the meteor shower. It's the Orion's meteor shower is going on tonight. Fantastic show this time of year. If you got clear skies, check it out. Probably around 100 an hour, during the full deal. So it'll be going on all night long. So that'd be awesome. So check it out. In the meantime, thank everybody for calling in, and keep your eyes to the skies, y'all. Thank you.
10 seconds.
Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining.